We're back with this week's Sister Scoop, and we have they kind of just range. We have a range of three news topics that are all over the place a little bit, but we're going to start with the most exciting one, which literally, as we're recording this, dropped today, and it is confirming that Sadie Sink has been cast in the upcoming Spider-Man 4 movie. Yay?
Yeah. Yeah, this one threw me for a loop.
Really?
Well, I just if we're going to go with we've been talking about her for Jean Grey, right? And so
True.
I guess to me I know people are saying I mean I was seeing stuff online that people were saying, "Oh, this basically confirms that she's going to be Jean Grey." And I was like, "In what world does casting her in Spider-Man 4 increase the odds that she is going to be in Jean Grey?" To me, I was like, that makes no sense. That means she's out of the running for Jean to me
Right.
with this casting. And so that's kind of why I wasn't expecting it. I mean, does this mean that she's going to be your classic Mary Jane Watson with that iconic red hair? Now you're stepping on Zendaya's toes. I am a little that's why this is just kind of throwing me for a loop a little bit. I mean, sure, she can dye her hair, wear a wig, whatever, but you're casting someone who has, very prominently red hair, and there are some very prominently red haired characters that need, I mean, Mary Jane Watson aside, that need, an actress, and that's not a very common hair color. Again, I get it. You can dye, you can do the hair, or the wigs, but I don't know. I'm really struggling with this.
See, I feel like maybe I didn't struggle because while I really did like her as the option for Jean Grey, we talk a lot for X-Men about, are they going to be young? Are they going to be 30s? Are they going to be older? I think that's been a constant debate. So I'm not against if she's kind of out of the running for Jean Grey. I'm not against kind of being like, oh, that might open the door. Because personally, a lot of my fan casts when we did it had been, in their 30s, maybe even 40s. So I was casting them for older. I think I was more shocked because I also was like, oh, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
And listen, if any of you guys have listened to me in the past, 3 years since No Way Home came out, I really didn't love, Zendaya's character. I wasn't really the biggest fan. I don't know where she came from in the first movie, and then to figure out where she was by the third movie, weirdest character arc. It just they just were like, we just want Zendaya in a movie, and that's what that felt like. No hate towards Zendaya. She did a great job. Obviously, we love Tom Dea. We're good. But I didn't love her character. So I was pretty adamant. I don't want her to return. I think they had an ending to her character. I would like to see classical Spider-Man characters come back. Did I think it'd be Mary Jane Watson? No, because I really want either Gwen Stacy or Felicia Harding. So that's where I'm a little confused. To your point, wigs exist, hair dye exists, but she is an iconic redhead actress. There aren't a ton of them in this world, and a lot of times I don't feel like they dye their hair or wear a wig. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole Mary Jane thing is just throwing me for a loop. Beyond the whole, Gwen and Felicia of it all, it's just you went with the one character you've already kind of quasi did. That's
right.
just so bizarre to me. I don't know.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited though. I'm excited to see her come in. I'm excited to see the role she does end up playing, but I'm confused. I cannot wait to get more information on it.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yes. Moving on into the X-Men realm, we have another rumored casting, and so far one of them might be out the window, but Jesse Plemons, possibly for Beast. Now, I recognize the actor. I don't recognize him from a role. I looked at his IMDb. I'm like, I don't know. But I could see it. It would work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike this casting. To what you were saying earlier about where are they going in the age, he is pretty significantly older. I think he's in his early 40s. He is significantly older than Sadie Sink. So it is interesting that we're doing these kind of back to back, because the whole time I was, reading about this, they were saying, you're thinking about Sadie Sink. We talked about that guy from Iron Claw. Is that the movie?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes. So we talked about him. He's kind of in the middle, and I was like, what is going on here? But I do, to your point, I feel won some awards. He seems to be a really good actor. I don't know him personally from anything, but one thing I thought was interesting, if you want to stay in the MCU family, literally, Kirsten Dunst is actually his wife in real life. So the OG Mary Jane Watson is his wife. So
Okay.
cute little like full circle moment. But yeah, I don't actually know his acting skills. I just know he has a super famous and awesome wife. So that's cool.
Yeah, I have to say, I was as soon as I saw his picture, I was like, "Oh, I know this guy." But then I actually went through his like entire filmography and everything, and I was like, "Apparently, I do not." So,
I just know his face. Probably you've seen
yeah,
him in pictures with Kirsten Dunst.
and
Probably.
maybe that is what. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe that is what it is. I have nothing to add about that. I mean, all these rumors have either panned out or have not. We haven't gotten any official castings other than Sadie Sink being in Spider-Man 4. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. This could end up changing 17 more times, as it likely will, but he would be an interesting candidate. Let's just say that.
For sure. For sure.
This last one hurts me. I like don't even want to say it. But pretty much ScarJo said, "Hey, Natasha, she's not coming back." And so the little shred of hope I maybe did have that we'd have like a cameo in Secret Wars or something seemingly was killed in that moment.
I mean, look, dude, like I wouldn't say it's zero because we all, everybody's taken out of the Andrew Garfield book of plays here. She
True.
could be lying out of her teeth to throw us off the scent because she keeps getting lumped in with RDJ. And, Chris is out here saying now that he's not coming back when that was supposedly confirmed. So and these guys are vets. They have been here since the beginning. They know how to lie. They know how to misdirect. They know how to not pull a Tom Holland. They know how to not give things away. And so, what was she going to say? Oh, yeah, I'm totally in the film. I think it's interesting that she's saying no. I think the reasons why she's giving no make sense. But I don't think the door's totally closed. I wouldn't stress about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. I just
I thought you'd be happier that I'm helping
I
you
know.
out.
It's not that I'm not. It's just like I don't want to kill my hope, but I also don't want to be like, don't be more hopeful. Like, don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of this point because she might be just telling the truth and she might not be coming back. Obviously, we all know my feelings on her death. Like, that was the worst. I mean, all of that was bad, but that was the worst moment of anything for me. So I'd like to see her come back in some capacity. I really do. I think she deserves at least a little bit more. Her sacrifice was worth it, but I would like to see. I mean, we've met her sister. We've seen some of the more intricate parts of her life outside of the Avengers and everything else. So I would love to see just something. To your point, I guess we can't write it out, but I also can acknowledge I don't know if we need it.
Yeah. I do think like her whole, reasoning of like, let the girl have her moment. She had her hero moment. She made her sacrifice. It was meaningful. And you
Yeah.
run the risk of undoing. I mean, how much did we talk about undoing RDJ's MCU legacy if he comes
Right.
back? Now, this is slightly different because she would not be playing potentially a different character. She'd be playing an alternate universe Natasha Romanoff, which I think you can do without necessarily tarnishing 616's Natasha's legacy. So I think that's a little bit different, not quite as slippery as a slope as what's happening with RDJ. But I see what she's saying. I still think there's workarounds and I still think she might be lying, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, on that note, that has been this week's Sister Scoop. Make sure you guys come back as we cover next week 3 new Marvel news topics. And of course, currently on the podcast, we are covering Daredevil Born Again. So if you guys aren't watching it or keeping up with us during it, you should be. So go ahead, catch up because so far, so good. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.